Black mothers and hair. What happens in this house is gonna stay in this house. Stay out of grown folks' business. Remember that? When you got your own kids, your own house. There's this TikTok audio going around right now. It's like, you know you can go to jail for that, right? And it was like a POV, you turn the light on in the car. Oh, yeah. Your mom turns around, you know you can go to jail for that, right?
Yes, I'm a petty lover today.
What's up, y'all? If you're new here, I'm Zion, and you don't know that I'm Zion, but you're gonna love it here. And if you're not new here, then okay, consistency. I see you. Very, very much appreciated. For today's video, I'm joined by a special guest.
Hey, my name is Elias.
This is my brother Elias, aka Diverse Cravings, aka The Black Label, which is the crew neck that he is rocking in today's video. This is the person I've been telling y'all about in my videos, so make sure that y'all go subscribe to his YouTube channel and check out Black Label on Instagram, okay? So today we are joined for a mukbang, I don't really know the name. But today we have Johnny's New York style pizza, which is highly recommended, probably my favorite pizza. I don't know, I guess in Georgia.
Only the one in Henry County though. I don't mess with others.
So I have the cheese pizza because I only eat cheese. Call me boring if you want to, don't really care. Yes, and he has pepperoni. Pretty basic, pretty simple, but we're just eating pizza today. And in honor of Black History Month, the shortest month of the year, which I feel like is racism within itself, but nonetheless, today's topic is going to be about the Black family. Our favorite things, our not so favorite things, things that if we have families of our own, we want to carry. So I guess to start off first, we should pray. Pray? You want to? Okay, I'm going to do it? Okay. Lord Jesus, you say my pray, amen. It's kind of repetitive, but whatever. Okay, so let's start off with the pros. What are your favorite things about the Black family? The cultural things that you love, even if you don't have your own family, you're like, I'm glad that the ancestors passed this down to me.
I don't know culture, just the culture in general.
That's
I don't really know, it's just the culture, it's the flavor. I don't know.
That's a terrible answer.
I don't know.
With okay, you know what? Let's start with the cons. I think the cons will produce
I'll
some
let
pros.
you start and I'll piggyback on you.
Some pros about the Black family, about Black culture life. Dang, you're right. That is a tough one. Everything I'm thinking about that pertains to Black culture, I think. You know what? I think it's funny. I think I'll say this is a pro and a con. I think Black mothers and hair, right? I feel like for Black girls, it's kind of a rite of passage to have the hot comb on the stove, which is kind of bad because your edge is gonna get burnt off.
Black family taught you when you're gonna step, you're gonna step.
Yeah, I mean, the bumped ends is not one of my pros, but I think that looking back, it's funny. That's something I'm gonna take into in the future if I have my own family. But that's just one thing. I think the quality time that you kind of spend with the Black family sometimes.
Taking pride in what you have, definitely.
That's vague.
I mean, really, is it though? Is like everything that a Black family will have. I hate generalizing, but a Black family will have. You're gonna take pride in it. You might have a one story with one bedroom, and y'all might sleep in the same bed, but y'all gonna make sure y'all sweep that porch every so often. You know, you got your poor sometimes grandparents, and they be out there sweeping dirt. They ain't got no grass, but they gonna make sure they sweeping that dirt. We done all seen them people that live in them lower income neighborhoods. They ain't got no grass, but be sweeping that dirt. They wanna make sure it look nice. If they gonna have a Mercedes or a Cadillac or whatever they got, they gonna make sure that it's clean every time they step. If Black people got a fresh pair of shoes, they take pride in their stuff.
Actually, this is probably bad because it's about like Black pride, but I want to start with the con. One thing I feel like is said a lot about in Black families is what happens in this house is gonna stay in this house, which is capped every day of the week and twice on Sundays because they will get on the phone and tell your business and do it to your face. And
but it's different because it be to hear this family.
How was that any better?
It's technically to them that stand in the house.
They don't live here. Please.
I mean, I think
I don't like that.
A con is financial literacy. Like I have some Jewish friends and they talk about compound interest bank accounts and explain it to me. I'm like, never heard of this one. I'm like, man, how y'all learn about stocks and all? Well, my dad just taught me. Your dad just taught you.
Right.
Huh. So,
Black families have a lot of conversations, but sometimes it seems like the most important ones just go out the window.
Yeah, financial literacy is not talked about.
I feel like there's just so much shared in Black culture, specifically the Black family. There's this TikTok audio going around right now. It's like, you know you can go to jail for that, right? And it was like a POV, you turn the light on in the car. Oh, yeah. Your mom turns around, you know you can go to jail for that, right? And you know what? Literally up until probably like 2 years ago, I used to believe that you could legitimately go to jail for that. And looking back, imagine like being in prison and then talking to one of your boys and being like, hey, like, what you in for?
That dome like, man.
Yeah, like, what? And I was in the car literally today thinking like, was there a black family meeting where all the black mothers got together?
All the black families said all their kids the same lot.
And I used to be afraid of it too. I was like, there are police officers around. They
you be your own car. I gotta hurry and turn this one off.
Be grown too and still believe in it.
Like, I don't know. Black families will tell you whatever to keep you in check. You be lying.
It didn't have to be that extreme though. I have to say jail. Like, are you kidding me? You'll serve time for this.
Hey man, but I be having them lights on, man. They go to jail.
Another con for me is stay out of grown folks' business. This is one of my favorite ones. I feel like you're the type that's gonna say it if you have
That's
kids.
a pro and a con.
How so?
I feel like because you have other cultures that, I'm not gonna say cultures, but other people that you've seen. They parents' business is their business, and they're just not mature enough for that business yet. And at the same time, I feel like as black people, because I guess the con of it is like, yes, when do you become mature enough to be at the same table? And usually it's like when you turn 19.
Let me come back and speak on that. Because no. What I don't like about that saying also is I feel like black people keep moving the finish line. What is grown? For you say it's 19. I feel like for other folks, black folks see grown is when you got your own kids. Remember that? When you got your own kids, your own house. Remember that?
Well, I don't take care of you anymore. You grown.
And you pay your own bills. You can do what you want, but half the time,
I
even
still think
then,
it is grown though.
for having your own house and your own
Kids and all a little different. But when you got your own place, you pay for your own bills, ain't nobody taking care of you. Do whatever you want to.
I don't think that should dictate grown though all the time.
I be telling people they be trying to talk crazy to me now. I ain't listening to anything saying. Because you got your own place. I'm be out there trying to talk reckless to me. And then that you can say to me that's gonna hurt my feelings. Not somebody that go home and gotta ask mom, can I go out and take the car at 9 o'clock? Don't talk to me.
This is a bit different than a pandemic as well. People are
That's
home.
different though. That's, hey, I went back home.
And
still, I don't think you should be talking reckless. I feel like that only goes if they be talking reckless to you.
I don't want no bills in my name. I'm in no rush. But what's the other con for you?
I guess, look, we can go to mental health.
It's a big one in the black family. What is mental health? You better go to press condition. What is depressed? I was depressed. You know what's crazy to me? The black family will completely, black people, but also the black family will completely skip over mental health.
I mean, it's a pro and a con. It's definitely a pro and a con.
How is it a pro?
And a lot of people, like you think about, even when we're talking about mental health and we're talking about therapists and everything else, I want to say it's such a rich people thing, but it's like, how many therapists that can you find for lower income people?
That's true.
Like, it's really not. Like, you're rich, it's somebody that you can go to, and that's, you know, if you look at other cultures or whatever, they have a lot of money hiring people, they go because they have the money to. But like, in black culture, like, you're really taught to swallow your emotions, stop all that crying.
That's not a pro. Frank give you something to cry about.
Yeah, nobody cares. And like, from the smallest age, you know, when you grow up, you're really numb to it. And it's like, almost nothing really in the world can hurt you. It can, but it's never enough to, I guess, crush you. Like, I feel like black culture makes you feel weak if it is something that can crush you. Like, oh, what?
Oh, for sure.
You always compare your situations to somebody else. I feel like other people don't do that, but I feel like black people like, well, dang, it's always, well, you could have been worse. Dang, your car got repoed. Well, you could have been homeless.
Okay, normally I just do a voice memo, but I wanted to pop in and say, 1, happy Black History Month, family. So excited to share this month with so many amazing, talented, beautiful, stunning black people. That's 1. 2, I want to expand on some things my brother said. 1, I think what he's saying here is that black people know struggle all too well, but yet don't actually have the luxury of struggling. And yes, in this context, being able to struggle is a luxury. I do disagree with the point that because black people have been through so much, it makes us, in some ways, invincible. I think if we're invincible, then we lack humanity. And I think we all know too well how black people have had to fight for their humanity. I disagree with that because we are human and we shouldn't have to tell you that. Anyway, back to the video.
Like
that's the day is already terrible.
That's the always alternative. It's never about you. It's always think about somebody else. When you're younger, it's, oh, eat that food. Oh, you crying because we having ramen noodles tonight for dinner. It's kids in Africa starving. What they got to do with me? Maybe I don't want ramen every day.
It was always the kids in Africa, which I think now that we've gotten older and so many of our friends are African. Before somebody jumps on me in the comments and says, oh, so you're not African now, you're not black, you don't know where you come from. I know. I'm just saying that you have a lot of friends who are like first gen or second gen. Their parents actually immigrated from Africa recently. That's all I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation about the continent as a whole.
But I feel like that's just American propaganda. And I definitely think it's different too. Like us growing up so dark skinned, I really think it's different too. Our experiences aren't gonna be like everybody else's. Like when I was growing up, people say the African kids, they was asking me, am I African? No.
Right, yeah.
I was getting called a booty scratcher dog. Like
I was gonna say I'm probably like maybe brown skin, which I've talked about in other videos right now, but I was darker in the past before y'all be like, like before we get into that. But I agree on the mental health front. For me, I think there's always pride in everything that Black people do. There's always a flip side to pretty much everything that we said in this video and that we will say. But I think for me right now, I'm gonna talk about the cons. Like the visibility isn't there because there probably are Black people who are getting crushed. But other cultures, specifically white people,
but it's always
they get to be crushed.
I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's always, because Black people, it's I'm having a bad day, but push forward. It's always push forward. Like
they should be able to just sit in that bad day if they want.
Oh, I mean, most definitely. Like sometimes you is in a really bad situation, and sometimes it really is more harmful because you can't even take it in that you're in a really bad situation.
Anyway, but as far as the Black family goes, I definitely feel like unless your parents were probably exclusively therapists, like it just wasn't handled as well as it should have been, right?
We talking about depression and suicide. Like some people like bad day after bad day after bad day, and like at some point somebody should intervene. But the con of it is don't go ask for help. Nobody cares. And somebody always has it worse than you. So you feel like you're, I don't want to say the victim. I don't know if that would be the right word, but like you feel like you tripping for how you feel.
Right.
That makes sense.
That's fair. But that's just gaslighting.
Yeah, like but you gaslight yourself. Like that's the crazy thing.
Yeah. Gaslighting
now
is
you're
crazy.
teaching to gaslight yourself. It's like, dang, I'm mad. I'm really sad that my girlfriend broke up with me today. My house got a foreclosure notice. And my car is broke down, but still it's your mom, well, it's some kid out there starving and living on a bridge. Like
both situations are valid though. I agree. I still think we could do a lot better, but of course in the family sense of it all, as long as you've got at least one parent, clothes on your back allegedly, even if the clothes tore up, roof over your head, whatever, oh, you're good.
And that goes to somebody else has it worse, so.
Right, yeah. But okay, we talked about some cons. I feel like for pros, there's so many iconic phrases that have come out of the Black family, specifically the Black mother. I remember when the word child became,
child, please.
I remember when that went viral on Twitter and everybody was acting, not everybody, because Black people knew, like, the Black mother's been saying that one. But when it went viral on Twitter, a lot of AAVE has gone viral on Twitter, but people were acting brand new, like, oh, this was like, we been new. I feel like those phrases, those are the things that keep us alive, you know? And it's crazy that we don't have the right to be mentally ill when our ancestors, and even right now, we've gone through so much. You think out of everybody, we would have like agency to that.
It is so funny because you talk about that, and I was thinking about something earlier this week that happened. That was going viral on Twitter. I'm not gonna really get into exactly what it was, but something was said that shouldn't have been said, of course, very ignorant, et cetera.
By a Black person or a non-Black person?
By a Black person. There's a couple ignorant people, but some other people decided they wanted to come at African Americans. That is the craziest thing, is that Black people do take so much disrespect. Like you're just used to it.
Yeah, Black people never get to make mistakes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even never get to make mistakes. It's just one person does it, everybody has to. You know,
right.
Oh, that one Black person was walking down the street and he got shot because he was. Not every Black person has to be like that.
But that just goes to people believing that we're a monolith. Any pros about Black family? Like I said, like phrases are some of my favorite things. Anything else?
Like I said, the preparedness. I don't think nobody's prepared to be Black as much as Black people prepared to be Black. Like to wake up and understand, like adapting to any environment. Like I don't think anybody else can do it like Black people. I mean, it's simple as going to church. Black people gonna stay when they go to church. You might have went to school all week with them same busted shoes, that busted shirt on, but on Sunday you have one set of clothes that we is gonna sit there, you gonna have your Bible.
I don't know, I wasn't really with the old church days, the first service, second service, third service. I like it a lot better now.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you got some people that have no form of what they believe in, don't even think of it, don't think of right or wrong.
One thing Black folks gonna do is go to church.
Like I said, Black people they gonna overfeel whatever they gonna do. Every Sunday you got in the car, somebody's car, and y'all didn't miss not one Sunday at church. You had your nice suit on. It might have been the only suit you own. You had a Bible, and your mom did not play about you not bringing that Bible and sleeping in church. And that just seems like it was taught.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You had a God-fearing mother. Ain't no, we not finna pray over this food. This is what we do.
I think one of my favorite things about the black family, outside of just like traditional mom, dad, like brother, sister, is I feel like so much happens in black culture that it makes everybody family. Oop, you say I'm not family with all the Negroes. What you mean?
Oh no.
Come on now. All right, go ahead. Please give me a counter argument.
I feel like they're all weary of each other. Like black girl weary of everything.
Really? In competition with each other?
But I'm a Christian, just weary of.
Sometimes we are.
Don't trust it.
Go.
You gotta remember the big thing is being black is just like I said, when everybody wants to argue about something. If you get pulled over tonight, they don't look at you and ask, where are you from? They don't do that. They say black person if they want to kill you. Like the Klan never said, bruh, he's from Ethiopia, bro. Leave him alone. Like it never happened.
To get back on topic, quietly, I think that's interesting. I think one thing to me that's beautiful but also tragic about the black family is the lessons that you learn, right? And the way that they're taught to you. I think I've just seen over different cultures how the talk is different, right? In black families, the talk is about police brutality and the way they'll be treated in society, right? And I think that that's
a pro. I think it's a pro.
I mean, yeah, it's still tragic though. The fact that you have to have that conversation with your child, especially at such a young age. And I've seen a lot of black parents who've had to have that conversation in lieu of everything that's going on recently.
Black parents will have that conversation. I find other cultures, they try to let you see it. Black families are going to kill you.
And we don't talk about black women enough in that conversation, but I also think that
I feel that's a whole different.
I agree. I think there's two sides of that conversation though when it comes to black men versus black women, especially then when you integrate like skin tones and stuff like that. But I guess that's a pro to a certain extent, right? But that's just cultural education.
They are going to educate you, yeah. Like some people just won't. They'll just let you go out in the world. Like they're going to educate you, like across the board. Like for instance, if you get in this car with Dante and you know he sell dope up the street, the story is going to be y'all are all gonna go to jail.
That's true.
Like they're not going to give you though what to say to the police. Like that's going like
one person got the
drugs.
They're all going down.
Yeah, and is that always true? No.
Really?
It's always a way. I mean, you might have a good lawyer. Your mom and dad might be rich. They might get you a good enough lawyer. You might get about that situation, but they're not going to tell you about that ultimatum.
I'm being educated right now because I thought everybody was going to jail.
This America, I mean.
I feel like in many ways the black family is universal, right? I see these jokes all the time. I see these videos. You used to go to the grocery store. And your mom always be like, don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing, don't think about nothing. I've seen a couple of videos where people do like reenactions of stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of black families will just get it right off the bat because you went through the same things. Seriously, where is the black mother meeting? And do you get the email when you get pregnant, when the baby comes? Like, where is it? Because everybody seems to know.
And I feel like that really goes back to Jim Crow and all, like, well, why not? But it's the funny thing is, like, as you get older, you keep the same things, but you don't really realize it. It's kind of like black people that go in the store and just endlessly roam. They go in and they really shopping, they know what they're shopping for, they know what's on aisle 7, they 7, 10, 12, we back up out of here. Like, you don't just see them walk in, they know exactly what they're gonna get, they know exactly brands.
You know what's so funny? This is off topic of the black family, but I think that black women get so much heat for, or specifically if you're darker as well, just being aggressive and being perceived that way right off bat. But you kind of have to be. You have to be aggressive and assertive, right?
And I think it goes back to like how much disrespect like we get. Like I feel like people see black people as aggressive and they come from aggressive communities and all, but like I feel like you got to like you got it. It's not. I don't think you get that pass, you know, for certain people it's, well, they're seen as a good black person. But when you're black, especially when you're dark skinned, yeah. Because you're going to have people that's going to come in, they're going to try to talk to you any type of way, they're going to try to treat you any type of way.
Right.
Or especially when you go to that 5-star restaurant, and because you didn't come in a Mercedes this week, which you're big, like, bro, I just want to come in and eat. I'm just a regular person. Like, oh, well, they're going to try to treat you any type of way. And a black woman is not going to let you treat her any type of way. Which is like the funny thing, like in black culture, like that is also the funny thing. Like a lot of people, I think, that don't actually exist in black culture, I guess, and really know, like they always think the black man is aggressive.
And it's funny because I feel like he can't be.
Yeah, like
she has to be. The black woman has to be, and the black man can't be.
And I feel like that's how you train. Like everybody thinks off the rip. I was like, if a black man gets involved, something is like terribly wrong. Because a black woman can step up for herself. We go out and that teeth is wrong. The black man ain't gonna say nothing. He's gonna try to let it go and pay his little $60 to be out the door.
Right, but every black woman doesn't have to.
Not gonna let it slide.
Every black woman isn't that way, and she doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to, but I feel like, I mean, of course, like black culture, like they kind of make it that way, like.
Right. so many of these harmful stereotypes and even powerful ones. I think one thing this like whole past summer has really taught me is that so much of it is historic, right? It has a story, it has an origin. Of course, everything does, but I think you really have to look at that story this past summer. But I feel like
people ask why black women are loud. Like you look at historically, like
she gotta do it.
Black women have been looked over and disrespected. Like, so of course, like understanding nobody, you gotta speak up for yourself. Like, and black women will teach most time their black daughters, like, no, speak up. Like,
I feel like that also goes right back to the topic. Like, I feel like so much of that started at home, right? Especially if, like, even if something happened at school, right, and your mom knew that you were in the wrong, she gonna get on the phone with the teacher. Who you talking to? What she do? I'll be down there tomorrow. Like,
I mean,
and she will.
Like, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm thinking about like, if you're getting bullied at school, like how that works. Like it's not in the black, hey, it's step up for yourself before I step up for you. And I think a lot of people look at it differently, but I think it's also the black family, like teaching your child as a young person to no matter what happened. They don't say, oh, the bully was 6'6", 235, mom, I'm 5'6", 130. They said, hey, if he is bullying you, you need to, talk to him nicely. He put his hands on you. You need to go ahead and fight. And, whatever consequences.
You need to go ahead and fight. I'm screaming. In our house, it was always, we don't start fights, but we finish them. And I'm telling you right now, as a 19-year-old woman, I'm not a fighter. I'm really not. You
just don't put your hands on me, though. Yeah. I will try to talk it out with you, but you put your hands on me, man.
But we have talked a lot of the pros and the cons, a lot of negativity, a lot of tragedy, but what are some of your like top things from the black family that you can't wait to pass on, fatherhood or not?
I think like how you step. Like I think that's a big thing that I definitely want to instill in my children. Like take pride in whatever you do. Cause I feel like a lot of black culture is like, bro, if you can go out and do something, don't have to. It's either you're gonna do it all the way or you're not.
I think that one thing that just reminded me of another really big lesson I feel like a lot of black kids know is that you have to work twice as hard. And growing up in a predominantly black neighborhood, I feel like
the code switching.
Code switching is another thing that you really do learn. It's just one of those things that you see, right? Your parents on the phone with somebody. I can tell who my dad is talking to by his voice. I can tell if he's talking to one of his boys. I can tell if he's talking to the neighbor down the street that he don't really know like that. I can tell if he's talking to a woman. I really can't. It's a skill.
Up, folks? Yes, sir. Right?
Literally, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I can tell. But I think growing up in a predominantly black neighborhood, it wasn't something that I really peeped until probably high school. I went to a predominantly black high school, but I was in an organization that like once we got to higher levels, everybody was white. That's one. Two, our coaching staff was white. So. And two, really when I got to college, like going to a PWI that was like, I feel like there's levels to PWI. Like maybe even if you go to like an NYU, you still live in New York, right? But going to a PWI in the middle of nowhere, Georgia basically is a very different story, right? And you're just surrounded by so many white people and you do have to be that much better. And it's disheartening, but I think when you're around other black people, they become family because they understand it, right? And they're there with you. And it's funny because that lesson also comes from family. So there's probably a billion like black family things. If there's anything from black families that you love to incorporate or that you loved growing up, or you hated growing up, please let me know in the comments. But I think my favorite thing off top is probably the phrases that I'll probably bring. And sometimes I'll see stuff on Twitter and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what if I forget that phrase? Or we all grew up with this, like that's great. And I can't wait to see the phrases that the next generation will incorporate, right? I think it'll be so different. But the AAVE really is just so special. And I think it's one of those things that keeps us alive, it keeps us funny, it keeps us black. Okay, well that is the end of this video. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Please comment your favorite things, least favorite things, all the things about the black family. Questions that you might have as well. Until next time, I'm Zion. This is Elias. So please go follow all of his socials and Diverse Cravings and Black Label. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell everybody else in the world to do the exact same. Thank you so much for tuning in.